Today kicks off a new series about your comics story, and today is all about ideas. Maybe you're on the hunt for ideas, or you have an idea and you don't know what to do with it. You're in a good place. Let's dive right in. Welcome back to Pencils and Stories. My name is Henrike. I make comics, I teach comics, and if you want to make your own comics, then subscribe below and hit that bell button. How do comics get started? How do you generate ideas? And once you have them, what do you do with them? How do you take them further? In today's video, we'll dive into all of that, and by the end you should have some starting points from where you can start generating those ideas, where you can start brainstorming, so you can get all of those ideas out of your head onto paper. But first, one quick note about confidence. I hear a lot of artists say that they cannot write. They will say things like, I have an idea for a comic, I have a ton of great characters, I would love to make a comic, I would love to write a story, but I am not a writer. To which I say, nay. Because you create stories every single day. You consume even more, maybe. In a way, story comes natural to you. We'll dive into script writing and all of that stuff in later videos, but for now I want to tell you that yes, you can do this. You can do this. Let's talk about ideas. Ideas can start from literally anything. They can come spontaneously to you, or you can deliberately seek them out and brainstorm them. My ideas often start from character because that's the thing I naturally gravitate towards. I love characters, and it's the thing I'm most drawn to in other stories as well. Another artist might be inspired by something else entirely. I'm gonna give you a small list. It's not extensive by far, but it's kind of an example of what you can start thinking about if you want to generate your own ideas. Places and environments, time periods, a broad general idea for a plot, an interesting conflict, an experience that happened to you, a subject or a genre you love, or a stance or a message that you want to convey. Sometimes it's fun to ask yourself questions like, what if? A lot of Pixar movies are based on this statement. What if a rat wants to start cooking in a professional restaurant? Or what if toys were actually alive? Some filmmakers start a story by writing a one-sentence premise. Usually it's something catchy or it has some irony in it, and they explore kind of from there. Or you might be exploring something for yourself, something you want to kind of figure out, or you want to say some things about. You can go from there. All of these starting points are valid. You can literally see a cool quote on the internet and start a comic from there. Make a long one, a shorter one. It doesn't matter. If you want to make a comic and you have zero ideas, pick one of these starting points and start generating ideas from that. I'm curious where you get your ideas from. I would love to hear all about it, so post in the comments, how do you usually get your ideas? I got a wonderful message from one of my email list subscribers. I don't really know how to pronounce your name, but it's Nura. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. But she asks, I'm interested in how one starts the process of making a comic when an idea first comes to mind. Does it start with the writing of the whole story, or does it start to come together from smaller things like scenes and lines or characters, or just little thumbnails? I have an idea for a longer comic, but I have trouble with getting started. That's an excellent question. You have a basic idea. Now what? When you have a small idea, my advice is actually to sit with it for a while and generate more ideas, to expand it. Creativity comes from giving an idea space to grow. In my experience, that means giving it a few things. In my experience, it needs regular contact and kind of prodding it and working with it to turn it into anything more than just an idea, and let alone a story. A good way to do this is to start asking questions. Questions like why, how, who, where, when, all of those kinds of questions. Like, for example, let's say you have an idea about a shark. You can ask yourself a question like, who is this shark? Where is it swimming in the ocean? What's it doing on a daily basis? How is it interacting with other sharks? How is it interacting with its food? What time period is the shark in the sea? Is it a dystopian future where all sharks have been almost extinct? Or is it a fantasy world? Is it a fantasy shark? Is it a shark that's more human? So ask yourself those questions, throw in other ideas in the mix, and then come up with like lists of ideas and see where you end up. That brings me to the next point. An idea needs freedom. When you engage with your idea, just give it space and play with it. Just play around with it. When I say that, I literally mean it. Like, do what kids do. When they are coming up with ideas and playing with each other or playing with their toys, they're not judging their ideas. They're not thinking, this is kind of unrealistic. They just come up with ideas. If halfway they decide they don't like it, they will drop it, they will do something else with it. Like, anything can happen. And I kind of want to encourage you to go into that mind space. When you're coming up with ideas, don't edit, don't judge yourself or your ideas. Anything's good, anything's fine. Just write it all down, make notes, make sketches, just have fun with it and play. The last of the things that an idea needs is time. Ideas are finicky things that need time and space and freedom. It takes time to come up with the good stuff. In my experience, it can take a few hours to a few weeks or longer. But also in my experience, eventually something will come as long as you regularly engage, give it space, give it time, give it freedom, keep your logical, judgy brain out of it, and play and have fun with it. Now, how do you do this brainstorming thing practically? Every story consists of these three things: a character, multiple characters often, a world or setting, and then plot, which is your story, like things that happen. A comic communicates these things through visuals combined with dialogue. Remember all the various ways that a comic can start and an idea can kind of come to you? Start from there and then start expanding. Sit with it, play around with it. See it as a gathering of all the pieces of a puzzle. That's how I like to look at it. And especially later in the process, if there's stuff that you need to figure out, I kind of think of it as a piece that I still need to find. It is somewhere and I will find it. But for now, I just keep looking. Now we're in the idea stage, which is more kind of like having fun and just generating ideas. Now you're just gathering pieces from a very big puzzle. And maybe some pieces are from other puzzles, you don't need them. But for now, just keep gathering stuff. Do you have a character? Where could they be living? What do they do on a day-to-day basis? What is their worst nightmare? What do they want more than anything in the world? Those are kind of like good things for plot. Do you have an idea for a world? What kind of world could it be? Are there creatures living there? Do they have any impact on the environment? Is the environment hostile? Like, what kind of creatures would be able to live in that environment? What kind of story could play out there? And then remember all the who, why, what, where, when questions, and just sit down and write. Like, it doesn't even have to make any sense. Like, for example, you have like a desert world that you came up with, and then you want to have something with fish. Just write it all down. You will make sense of all of it later, but for now, like I said, no judging, no editing. Just see what is fun to you. What are the fun things that come up inside your brain? And when you sit down to brainstorm, capture everything. Write notes, draw pictures, get a reference. You can even make mood boards, all that kind of good stuff. Just for a while, just have fun. Explore, generate those ideas. And then at the end, when we're done, we're gonna gather all the pieces, and then we're gonna edit, adjust, and put on our logical hats, figure out how we're gonna structure everything, and then we're gonna use logic, and then we're gonna use editing. But that's for later videos. Now go and have some fun with your ideas. Or, just come up with some random ideas just for fun. How do you come up with ideas? How are they coming to you, and what do you do with them once you have them? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. If you like following along this journey of making your comic, I have a weekly email list where I send out bits of inspiration, resources I find, good stuff that was said on the internet. So go to the description below, subscribe to my email list. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, comment below so I know to make more videos like this. Next week, we'll start talking about story and story structure. So stay tuned and see you next week.